So we are now looking at the concept of interior angles. So we said angles are co-interior angles if they lie on the same side of the transversal between the parallel lines. These angles are what? Are supplementary. Okay, I'll just, one, they lie what? On the same side of the transversal. Two, these angles are what? Are supplementary. And I think I spoke about supplementary in the very first video where we were speaking of the sum of angles that are on a straight line, or the adjacent angles. We said adjacent angles add up to what? To 180 degrees. And now we said by adding up to 180 degrees, we mean they are supplementary. The very same terminology pops up again, supplementary. Okay, by the way, I will brief you on the diagram. Okay, here we have lines that are parallel. Okay, we have AB, which is parallel to CD. Here, the very same thing here, AB is parallel to CD. Okay, so in this case, when you look at co-interior angles, we always look out for what? For a U shape. So a U shape can be in anyhow as long as you see what? A U shape. Okay, so in our case, we want to look at a U shape, and the angles that are inside there, they have to sum up to what? To 180 degrees, because we said that those angles are supplementary. And by being supplementary, that means they are adding up to what? To 180 degrees. So let us dive into this one. Let me label my diagram accordingly. So here I have G1, G2, I was writing with the highlighter here. Okay, here I have G1, G2, G3, and G4. And I have H1, H2, H3, and H4. Again, G1, G2, G3, G4, H1, H2, H3, and H4. So the way you label your diagram doesn't matter as long as you are going to keep consistency when it comes to writing your proofs. So in this case, we want to write a U shape. It's either it will be in a form of C or on a reverse C, but you have to visualize it as a U shape. So in this case, let us start by looking at this one. Okay, now I'm writing with my pen. I wanted to write with the highlighter. Okay, let's just look at this part. You have a parallel line. You have what? A transversal. And then you have what? You have another parallel line. What is it that was mentioned about the concept of co-interiors? We said this angle, you see this angle is within the U shape, and this angle again, which is the angle that is within a U shape, when you sum them. So in this case, we are saying G2 plus H21, by the way, it has to give us 180 degrees. And the main reason is because they are co-interior angles. So if you can look carefully here, these angles falls within the very same side of what? Of the transversal, of which is what they emphasized previously. And again, we want to look at another angle, or at another C shape. So here is another C shape, either C or U, it's up to you, but here is another C shape. Okay, it's a parallel line, transversal, and what? And another parallel line. So in this case, these are the angles that we will be diving into, of which is G3 as well as what? As well as H2. So they say that these angles, of which is G3 in this case, it's G3 plus angle H2. When you sum them, they have to give you what? 180 degrees. The main reason they said co-interior angles are what? Are supplementary. Okay. So we will be diving in details as we keep extracting our lesson, where we'll be looking at problems whereby you'll be required to solve for unknowns. In this case, I won't introduce any unknown variable. We'll be just working with what we see. But as time goes by, we will then be diving into details. How do we tackle problems when we are given such diagram? And the diagram becomes more and more abstract. But make sure that whenever you visualize the diagram, you can just relate it to what you learned from these videos. So in this case, if you can look carefully here, what happened on our left-hand side, of which is the first diagram, and it will be same as what will be happening here on our second diagram, but I will just go there so that I can take you slowly and make sure that you are following what we are doing. So in this case now, we want to look at another U shape. Here's a U shape. It's a parallel line, and go to the transversal, and now go to another parallel line. I said the line that joins two parallel lines, we call it a transversal. So in this case, this is what we have, and when it comes to the angle that we add, you see here on your U shape, here are the angles that are inside here, sharing the very same common transversal or of the very same side of transversal. You remember previously we were looking at the alternative and stuff, but in this case, the transversal is just one common base. So in our case here, you see here, it's another thing to G2 here, plus H1, of which is what we did mention here, is equal to 180 degrees. The main reason we said that the co-interior angles are supplementary. Even if you can go for this one, another U shape, okay, transversal again, and a parallel line. So again, here you see that you'll be having something that look common, of which is G3. When I add G3 with what? Okay, in this case, it will be G3 with H4. This doesn't matter. It's just the matter of how I labeled them, but I will write the one that we've just discovered now. So it will be just G3, in fact, plus what? Plus H4, which is equal to 180 degrees. The main reason we're looking at co-interior angles, of which are what? Of which are supplementary. All right, so this is all that we are looking for when we talk of co-interior angles. We are looking at a U shape, C shape, backward, it's either backward C shape or convex or concave U, it's either up or down, whatever, but bear in mind that if it follows a U shape, you go for it, and you add angles that when you sum them, they have to give you what? They have to give you 180 degrees.